So this is our handling and conditioning class, which is part of the preliminary classes that we had for the tip challenge makeover. So this was started just a smidge late, but we were supposed to walk into the first cone, wait for the judges, and then trot to the second, and then our horses are supposed to ground tie, and we pick up all 4 feet. So Eton is doing a pretty good job. He's a little nervous, so I've got the wiggle. We have been practicing this a fair amount, so he's been pretty good. But again, kind of being in that a little bit more of an electric atmosphere kind of can help up the nerves a little bit. But for how far he's come, I was very pleased at how he was handling himself. Then we pick up the trot. Halt again, and you can see I have my friend Kavin over there holding Fledgy for some emotional support kind of around the arena. So we're supposed to side pass, which he did that okay. He was a little crooked. And then we were supposed to pivot, which their hind foot stays in place and they're supposed to spin around the foot. He kind of wiggled a little bit, but that's okay. And then we come and we halt and back up 4 steps. And a little crooked. But overall, I was really happy how he handled himself. And we ended up placing kind of in the middle of the pack out of 50 horses. So pretty pleased with how he handled himself. Now next was Y in the same class. So you get to see it a little earlier. We have to walk to the first cone. You can see Y is pretty comfortable kind of in this atmosphere. And now I'm waiting for the judges to cue me to go forward. We pick up the trot. Y does this exercise pretty dang solid. So he doesn't move. He just picks up his feet for me. I probably could have gotten a little flashy where I could have walked back around him a little further away, but I was like, I'm going to stay right here. Not going to test it too much, but that probably would have gave me a couple of extra points. Kind of trying to show them off a little bit. And now we go into the trot again, and you can see I have a loop in my lead rope, so it's just really based on my body position. We side pass. And now we're going to do the pivot. And you can see his compared to Eton's, he does not lift up the back leg except for one little time. And now we walk to the cone. Stop and back. This is the only place where I think I may have lost a little bit of points. It got a little sticky here. So we ended up placing 7th out of 50 some odd horses. So really nice, solid round. I was really happy with that and how good he performed. So now back with Eton in the trail class. We head to the first cone again, wait for the judge. And we have this checkerboard, different colored little piece of plywood that we have to cross. So the biggest thing for Eton is I'm just excited to be here with him. I know this is a lot for him to take in, but he's handling himself pretty well. And now we have to do the trot serpentine in between the cones. Again, you want the horse to kind of stay with you right at your shoulder. And now we're heading to the trailer, which I knew this would be a little difficult for him. He's typically a really good loader, but again, he's a little concerned about the atmosphere with the people behind him. And so, again, this is a strange trailer, but normally he's pretty darn good about popping right in the trailer. But he hesitated a little bit, so I'm just asking him, putting a little pressure and release on the halter, trying to keep his focus on me. And he pops in, but then he's kind of nervous and just pops right out. He didn't really wait, but that's okay. I have to be a little careful with him to make sure he doesn't kind of go up too high where he thinks he needs to get out. So we just move on to the next obstacle, which is picking up a jacket. And again, I kind of knew what the pattern was, so I was able to practice the stuff over by our stalls. But again, it's different when you're in a little bit more of an atmosphere. He spooked at the jacket. I reassured him a little bit. Now I knew this exercise would be a little tough for him. This is the side passing pole. You have to step over it and get them to side pass cleanly. You don't want them to touch the pole or to necessarily hesitate. But again, he's worried about the kind of spectators behind him. But I get like 1 or 2 steps, so again, sometimes it's minimizing and taking what you can get. We trot the trot poles. He does those really well. And now the backing up chute, which I knew again, this was going to be a little tough for him. As he can get, when he gets a little nervous, he kind of goes quickly. And so I'm trying to just do step by step. And I'm trying to get him to yield the haunches. And he's just not too sure about that exercise right now. Because he's really funny. He likes to try to keep an eyeball on the crowd behind him. So you see he's kind of coming in at that angle. He doesn't want to just back up straight for me. So I think I tried like 3 times. Nope. So I'm like, okay, we're going to walk through. We're going to use this as a training exercise to see if I can get him just to do a little bit of it. Just where I can get a little bit of the corner back and turn. So walking through there helped him a little bit. And I got some. He hit the pole, but I just gave up on the pole. I just wanted him to back up. So, again, taking what I can get. I'm really happy he is standing next to me. That's the big thing with Eton. So now heading to the last obstacle, the pivot box. And we're supposed to pivot. He gets a little nervous, so he moves his hind feet. Ideally, you would want one foot to stay still. So then I'm repositioning him so I can get a little bit better pivot this way. I did a little correction so he wouldn't run past my shoulder, but overall really happy with how well he handled himself and really good experience for him. So now here with Y, kind of apologize for the quality of the video, and we missed the first half of the trail, but heading to the trailer portion, which I literally had just practiced like a minute before I came to the ring, walking into another strange trailer. But he hesitated for this. But that's okay. Doing a little bit of pressure and release. Letting him testing it out. He wants to sniff the ground. So I decided to go back by his shoulder. Normally he jumps right. He likes to jump in the trailer. And then he steps on. So overall, he's still technically loaded pretty well, but for these classes, they really want to see horses just walk right in with no hesitation. So we lost some points for that. Now heading to the jacket. We pick it up. He's pretty good with that. And now heading to the side pass pole. And I know I like to try to take my time, and he over he was trying a little too hard, so he tried to side pass to me, which is the first time he's offered that to me. But so we lost some points there, but I worked on getting them side passed the other way and got him to do that. Pick up the trot through the trot poles. And again, coming to this back up chute. This chute's pretty tough because it's pretty narrow for us to back through. So I knew, again, though, I had the pattern and we set it up and we practiced these beautifully. We had some bugs on our legs there. So here I'm trying to make sure I can get the haunches over. A little bit like Eton, he was a little stuck about moving the haunches, and I almost had it. I just needed to fix the front end, but then we kind of went in between the pole. So that was too bad. We almost had it. And then he backs up beautifully after I corrected it. And now we head to the pivot box. And again, these are big classes with a lot of horses in it, so it really comes down to the little teeny weeny things. Like which horse puts in a better pivot, which horse touched a pole. I really don't envy the judges. So I was really proud of my horses, though. They handled themselves pretty good in that atmosphere and really happy with how they performed.